What's up, family? It is your girl, Aquarius, and I am coming to you to talk about how we can become a greater version of ourselves. Now, I took notes because I have a tendency to be a little scattered, and I'm at work, and I'm going home in about 35 minutes, and I'm trying to get up out of here on time, okay? So I wrote some notes to kind of help me out, all right? So there are 6 steps to choosing to become a better version of yourself, all right? There's 6 steps. We're gonna go through each one of these. We're gonna break it down, and we're gonna bring it all the way back around. So step number 1, you have to choose you, okay? You have to choose you. What does that mean? Do you want change? Do you want better for yourself? Do you want to be the best that you can be? If the answer is yes, I want better for yourself or for myself, that's step number 1. You truly have to want it. Truly have to want it, okay? Number 2, you have to prioritize the relationship that you have with yourself. Yes, that means setting boundaries, y'all. And let's not get it twisted, because setting boundaries does not always mean like, I don't want to be with you because you stink and whatever. No, let's be real. Boundaries are set to protect ourselves. Boundaries are set to make sure we are adhering to the promises that we set for ourselves. So what does that mean? Not overgiving, not overextending, saying no when you mean no, and not doing it because you feel obligated, okay? We have to set those boundaries. When you prioritize having a relationship with yourself, it makes you intentional about doing things for you, okay? Now, people who are not secure with themselves, who are not ready to establish a relationship with prioritizing themselves, they're gonna call you selfish. They're gonna call you mean. They're gonna call you every word in the book. I promise you. Because when you start setting boundaries with people and start telling people no, it means that they cannot overstep boundaries that you have in place. It means that they cannot take from your energetic bank, okay? Your energy is a currency. The energy that we present to the world comes at a cost. How are you protecting that? So you are deserving, very deserving, and you're allowed to tell people no. For example, and this is not where I'm at now at work, but years ago I worked with somebody, and nobody in my department liked this girl. All she did was complain. You know, every single day was something new. My kid acting bad, my roommate this, my baby daddy this, oh, I'm fat, all these things. Now, I'm a very cool person. I'm cool with everybody. I ain't got no enemies. I ain't got no beef with nobody. I don't want no beef with nobody. I don't care enough to have beef with nobody. I don't care, okay? And I was working with her, so I don't have a problem with her. Nobody really liked her, and I understood why, but I didn't have a problem with her. And we come in, get report, and the first thing out this girl's mouth, I don't even remember. I just know she just started complaining. And I looked at her, it was my Monday, and I looked at her, and I was like, so-and-so, I really don't want to be rude, but we just getting to work. And if I have to hear you complain this entire shift, I'm not gonna be happy, and you're not gonna like me. With all love, I don't really care, because when I'm starting to care about the things that you're saying, it's gonna put me in a bad mood. And again, you do not wanna see me in a bad mood. I trust that you're gonna find a way, and I trust that you will be able to get over it. Or I said something about that. Anyways, long story short, I pretty much told the girl I didn't wanna hear it. We gonna have a long shift. We gotta be here for 12 hours. Let's make it a good shift. And after that, she ain't never complained to me again. So a lot of times when you tell people those things, sometimes they're not going to be very accepting of the things that you tell them. They're not going to be accepting of you saying, I don't want to hear about your problems, especially if it's some random person, okay? And also, can we normalize telling the people that we care about in our lives that I don't have the space to hear what you got to say? That's the boundary, okay? So becoming a greater version of yourself, it means that you have to be able to stand up for yourself, okay? I feel like my lip gloss is popping, baby, and I don't even wear lip gloss. Anyways, so number 2 was prioritize the relationship that you have with self. Number 3, take time to ask yourself questions and answer those questions. Because a lot of times we have YouTube in our ear, we have TikTok in our ear, we got Instagram in our ear, we got our homegirl in our ear, we got our boyfriend in our ear, we got our mama in our ear, we got all these people in our ear, but ourselves. Like, why we listen to everybody, but we not listening to ourselves? You have to be okay with wanting to spend time with yourself. There's nothing wrong with being alone. And there are a lot of people who are not comfortable with sitting with themselves because they don't like themselves. Let me tell you something. You stuck with you for the rest of your life. You are all that you have. You come into this world alone and you gonna die alone. And when I say that, I'm not saying it in a negative place, as in you're gonna be alone for the rest of your life. But if you really, truly think about it, when you go to sleep at night, you might have somebody laying next to you, but mentally, you're alone. So you have to be okay with understanding things and asking yourself some very personal questions. Like, if you were to offend somebody and you knew that you offended, don't sit there and deny it. Don't put on for the grand boo. Ask yourself, why did I do that? What was my purpose in saying that? Like, truly challenge yourself and ask yourself some important questions. You know, where did this habit develop from? Who gave me the idea that I wasn't enough? Where did that come from? And really sit with those questions. Like for real, y'all, we have to, and I say we because it's everybody collectively. I've been doing this for a long time, and even I still have to ask myself, like, girl, why did you do that? And when you're able to have conversations with yourself comfortably, it makes it easier for you to have conversations with other people because you're getting to know yourself. And you can't get to know yourself if you don't ever spend time with yourself, okay? Understanding your flaws, understanding your weaknesses, understanding your insecurities. But not only just those negative things or challenging things, but also the strong points, your strengths. You know, what it is that you're good at. And just because somebody else doesn't like how you do it, it doesn't mean that you're not great. You're just another perspective bringing a different opinion, idea, and thought to the table. Okay? So it's very important that we have conversations with ourselves and ask questions and answer those questions with confidence and honestly, because we have to be honest with ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with being in the wrong, because how else do you learn? How else do you learn? You have to be able to drop that ego. So ways that you can answer questions and ask yourself questions and really have conversations with yourself: video record. You can journal. You can, some people pray. Talk out loud. Excuse me. Okay? You don't always have to have somebody around to hear you. So for me, for instance, for any of you guys who are into astrology, I'm all air. I'm completely all air. Gemini, Aquarius, Aquarius. And I have a 5-planet stellium in Aquarius. Okay? I love to communicate. If I'm going through something, communication is how I get through it. Talking about it is how I get through it. Part of the reason why I do these videos is to help me be able to work through things so that way I can go back and hear myself speaking of the things that I'm able to learn from. Journaling is huge for me. I love to journal. Do I do it every day? No. But whenever I have a thought that comes up, I'll write something down. And in that moment when something needs to be transmuted and I'm writing it down, I'm able to find comfort in journaling, okay? So that's number 3. Take time out to ask yourself questions and answer those questions. Number 4 is be mindful of how you are communicating with yourself. Y'all, I cannot stress this enough. We need to stop with the negative self-talk, okay? The universe does not understand sarcasm, so you have to be intentional. And I'm using this word because I'm very serious. You have to be intentional about the things that you are practicing. Excuse me. My mouth is dry. But yeah, so negative self-talk is a huge one because we have so many thoughts that run through our mind on a day-to-day basis, on an hourly basis. Like, it's so ridiculous, y'all. And a lot of times, we don't say the nicest of things to ourselves. Oh, I'm so stupid, or I'm such a bad friend, or I suck, or I've even heard people talk about my kid is an ass, like just a lot of people in my generation, and I'm not even just gonna say my generation, it's just people in general, like it's so hard to say something so nice about yourself. Like, why is it so hard? I don't understand. Like, I mean, I get it. I know why people do that, but it shouldn't be so hard that you can't say anything nice about yourself, you know? You gotta be kind to yourself, y'all. Like, being kind is so important. There's so many people in the world who just wants to see us do bad or see you do bad that you don't need to sit there and rain on your own parade and throw yourself a pity party, okay? Be kind to yourself. Be loving to yourself, because if you don't, who else is going to? Okay? You don't want to be with somebody and they're constantly telling you how much they suck and they're not a good person. Like, take your ass on somewhere. I don't want to hear that 24/7, and I'm not about to continuously tell you, oh, no, you don't suck. Oh, no. That's draining. Don't nobody want to do that, and don't nobody want to be around it. Whether you do it a lot or a little, we need to normalize speaking kindly to ourselves, because you practice how you play. Okay? So make sure that you're being kind to yourself when you're communicating with yourself throughout the day. Saying encouraging things like, girl, you got this. Dang, girl, you cute today, even in them scrubs. Okay. Yeah. And don't allow other people to say anything about you that you know that ain't true. One thing that I am very confident in, and I'm completely okay with this, is that I am not meant for everybody. I don't want to be meant for everybody, and everybody's not meant for me. And guess what? That's okay. That is okay, because we're all different for a reason. I have something that you are not able to bring to the table. We might share qualities and be able to deliver the same message, but in a different way. I'm more straight, direct to the point. I'm gonna tell you blunt, I ain't got time for that. Whereas somebody else might come along and be able to tell you the same thing, but from a more loving perspective. You see what I'm saying? So, be nice to yourself. Be kind, and most definitely talk to you nicely, okay? Number 5, practice intimacy with yourself. No, that does not mean go and touch all on yourself, but you have to be able to know yourself, spend time with yourself again, and know that you're capable of doing things, okay? Take that time to put into yourself, all right? A lot of times we associate intimacy with being physical, and I think that in our society today, especially for a lot of the younger people, they use the physical aspect of themselves and sex as a way to try to lure somebody in. Let me tell you something. There's too many females out here throwing cookie around. Everybody over here munching for free. You got to give something up. But we don't want you giving nothing up. Everybody wants to give something up, okay? Intimacy. I'm gonna actually pull it up. I had it written down, y'all, because my mind is all over the place. But yeah, intimacy. All right, so what is intimacy? What is intimacy? Give me a second, because I'm gonna pull it up. I had it written down, and I just don't know where my paper is. Okay, so intimate. A very personal or private nature marked by very close association or familiarity. So getting to know yourself, basically. I guess I did that twice, but it's okay, it's important. And you really do get to know yourself, because if you don't know you, nobody else is gonna know you, okay? You have to know you. And number 5, date yourself. Yes, we're all familiar with self-care days. We gotta continue that up, okay? Sometimes we might say, I'm gonna go get my nails done. I'm gonna go get my hair done, all these things. But show up in like some sweatpants and a hoodie or something. Or roll up to the spa in some pajamas, looking crazy. Like, literally, prepare yourself. Get yourself together. Clean your house. Sit in silence. Date yourself at home. Drink a glass of wine. Smoke you a blunt. If that's your thing, do your thing, okay? But when you date yourself, show up as if you was putting that same energy in, as if you were putting that same energy into somebody else, okay? All of this, I say, with all of this being said, with all of these 6 of these steps, it's so important for you to put the same energy into yourself that you put into other people. You legit have to. Like, why are we gonna overextend ourselves for people who don't care about us, and we spend all of this energy on people wondering why they don't appreciate us, and you can be putting that back into yourself. Reinvest back into yourself, okay? I wrote a quote down, or a question down, because I really want you guys to think about, why do you think you were made to feel or have low self-esteem? Because people want to lower your value. I tell my son this all the time. People only gonna talk about you because they are unhappy with themselves. Don't allow nobody to project onto you, because their perspective is always gonna be different from yours based off of how they grew up, who they've been around, their life experiences. That has nothing to do with you. So people are around here feeling insecure, having low self-esteem, because other people are making them feel that way. But let me tell you something. That is a choice. We all make choices. Choosing to accept something that somebody says is a choice. So know that you have the choice to disagree. If you think you fine and somebody else don't think that you fine, that's cool. Because guess what? Not everybody is meant for me. And I ain't meant for everybody. Toodles. All right, so yeah, this video is getting to be a little bit longer than I wanted, so I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping up. So I just want to go ahead and tell you this. You really have to be intentional about how you create a relationship with yourself. You know, a lot of times we tend to be the most insecure in areas that our parents failed to put into us as children. So we go up into the world building ego around this insecurity and pretending until we have no choice but to face the insecurity that's bothering us, okay? And we have to stop running from ourselves, y'all. We gotta face ourselves. Like, it's so important, you know? The sense of being broken, unloved, or just having insecurities, let me tell you something. Those are just inner child wounds, okay? And that's your inner child reminding you, like, yo, I'm feeling some kind of way. I got you feeling all tingly inside in not the best way. I got you feeling insecure and everything because as a child, something happened to me. Something happened to us, okay, that made me feel unworthy, made us feel unworthy. And I'm just trying to know, is you gonna stand up for us or no? Like, I really wanna know this. And every time you are denying your inner child the reward of standing up for them, you're actually hurting yourself even more, okay? You're hurting yourself. Don't do that, okay? And going back to what was on our list, number 3 on our list, take time to ask yourself questions. It's important that whenever you start having thoughts or feelings of unworthiness or that little tingling feeling inside that makes you feel some kind of way or triggered by something, ask your inner child, like, how does that make you feel? For anybody who has children, if you were able to see your child actively feeling the way that you feel during a conversation that somebody had, what would you tell them? If you were able to go back in time and watch yourself being treated a certain kind of way, or your parents saying something and you feeling a certain kind of way, what would you tell yourself? What would you tell your younger self to make your younger self feel better? Ask your younger self how you feel, and then answer the question as if you were your younger self. That's an example of how we can have conversations with ourselves and really start to heal a lot of the things that bother us, a lot of the things that we find to be hard to deal with, okay? So with that being said, I just kind of want to recap. So how to become a greater version of yourself? Set goals. Set definitive goals for yourself. Challenge yourself, okay? Quit running yourself down, all right? You gotta talk to yourself nicely. You gotta treat yourself nice. You gotta be patient with yourself. You have to be kind to yourself, because it shows when other people that you're not kind with yourself, in your hygiene, in the way that you carry yourself, the way that you speak about yourself, okay? So quit running yourself down. You deserve better. You're very deserving, okay? And then I have number 3, stop thinking of all the reasons why you can't be successful and start thinking about all the reasons why you can be successful. Because even though that one perspective of you saying, I'm not good enough in this moment because of whatever reason, even though that might be true, I promise you I can think of at least 20 different reasons of how you can be successful to combat that negative thought. Okay, so we have to get in the mindset and in the practice of making sure that we can be creative with our imagination, so that way it can lead us to being able to create a successful life and creating goals that we can attain, all right? And trace your attitude back to your childhood and discover where you got the idea where you couldn't be successful. We talked about that, okay? You gotta start having conversations with that inner child. It's time to start doing the work, y'all. We got to. Abundance is here. And if you're not mentally ready to receive, you're gonna miss your opportunity. And it starts by becoming more in tune with yourself and loving yourself and building a better relationship with yourself. And when you do that, you start to trust yourself a lot more. And the last one is you got to change the image of yourself by writing down the image of who you want to be. So yes, that word intentional is back again, y'all. You got to be intentional about it. If you can see it, you can believe it. If you can see it on a piece of paper every single day, or if you're writing it on your mirror, you got it on your phone, see what it is that you want. You have to see the dream in order to be the dream, okay? So on that note, y'all, I appreciate you guys rocking with me for these 26 minutes. It's almost go time. My weekend is officially about to get started, about to go see my babies. And I want you guys to always remember that you are worthy. The only person that matters in this world is you. You are a universe. You are the God. You are a creator. Create the universe and the life that you want to live without the opinions of other people, because it doesn't matter what they think. Because at the end of the night, if they're not paying your bills, they don't need to be saying shit to you, okay? And even if they are paying your bills, it's a choice, okay? So peace, y'all. I hope this helps somebody. Leave any messages in the comments. If it helps you, I want to know what you are thinking, and connect with me on your road to self-discovery, because you are worthy, baby. And we as a people, it's time to rise up and stop allowing other people to tell us who we are. And it's time that we have to know who we are, okay? Peace.